Kapoulas, co-owner of Homer Rogue Taverna in Cronulla. I finished school and I studied interior design and architectural drawing. I then went and worked as a kitchen and bathroom designer for a few years and didn't really know what to do next. So like everyone does when you need some money, you jump into hospitality, and I started cleaning dishes in a restaurant in Cronulla, and my brother actually worked in the same venue. So as time progressed, I got dragged out of the back end and started to make coffee, and I learned how to become a barista, and that's what got us into this industry. We fell in love with it. With my brother, we thought this could be a good career for us. Together, we started our first venue in Cronulla called Ham. It's been going for 17 years. We've got another cafe called Rushi, which is a Japanese-inspired cafe. We opened a chicken shop a few years ago called CC Babcock, which got us into the restaurant scene. We ran that for 5 years, and then we've opened Homer. So this is something that we've been super passionate about for a long, long time. Something that we've always dreamt about doing, to be honest. I'm not trying to sound too cliche, but it really is. When I'm looking for a venue, I'm looking for position. I love corners. I know every Greek loves a corner. There's a joke about it. But I love corner spaces. They lend themselves nicely, especially for exterior seating. You capture the space nicely rather than having a long rectangular shape. Everybody feels part of it on a corner, I feel. The next thing I look for is lighting. Sun is a big factor for me. And not being a morning venue and being an evening venue, that was really important. Non-negotiables for me, the size. It has to be a certain size, a certain shape. Obviously the cost and the feasibility of it is important. You can design your way around a lot of other things. For us, we've got a 100-seat restaurant here, and I think that's a perfect size for what we want to do. 100's that sweet spot where it's enough people, you can turn it over quite easily and do a few sittings a night, and you're not having to overstaff it. If you're looking for a space, a big cost is ventilation. So having a space with the base works already done is critical. It could be a difference of $100,000, maybe more. So the plumbing side of it needs to have a grease trap. That could also be an expensive thing to do. The feeling that I wanted when people walk into Homer is a sense of Athens. We wanted to capture the Athenian feel. It's a bit grungy, it's a bit dirty, it's raw, it's really welcoming. That was the inspiration. We wanted to capture the base build of the place. In Greece, you know, there's wires hanging from ceilings, there's graffiti everywhere. So you notice if you come close, there's, you know, little drawings and markings, there's measurements from the guys who built the place. We haven't done anything with this column. I haven't even sealed it. So we've just cleaned it a little bit, but left all the original markings on it. I actually painted these Homer signs on the wall. And again, you can see there's markings, and the imperfection is what we want. The look of the place, we wanted to use materials that would age really nicely. Terrazzo flooring, Besser blocks, stone, timber, and stainless steel. So things that not only looked great from the beginning, but ages with the space, and it gives it a sense of character. And I had a customer say to me, it really feels like you're in Athens. That was the biggest compliment that I can remember. Design is super important from the get-go. It's the first thing that you see. It attracts people into your place. It's the part of the business that I really love. I love creating restaurants, making people feel nice in my space. Before even speaking to a designer, start a Pinterest board. That's what I always do. I save images of what I like, and then I nut it down, and then I go to that first meeting with an interior designer and say, this is what we want to do, this is the food that we're going to be serving, this is the feel that we want. Once I've given them what I feel, I leave it with them, and I try not to influence them too much, because I know how important that is when you're designing something, and usually they come up with some great stuff, things that you wouldn't even think of. When you're designing first-timers, employ a design team with a lot of experience in hospitality. I think that's important. You know, if you don't have it, it's important to lean on these guys for that. Be involved as much as you can in the building process. Things come up all the time. There'll be little issues, and you want to make those decisions on how it should look and how it's going to work. Bad furniture annoys me. I feel like people just throw chairs and they buy things that you can buy in all hospitality furniture shops. That kills me. But more, does the chair suit or the table suit the actual fit out? I feel like it's an afterthought for a lot of people. We've chosen a few different styles of chairs, as you can see. My favorite chairs are these original Harry Batoa chairs, the wire chairs. Super comfortable, and yeah, just a nice place to sit and relax and have a glass of wine, a cocktail. and it's with lucky. These are Artemai chairs. They're from the 60s. This is a Scandinavian style chair. Super hardy, they're gonna last a long time. Timbers with furniture are good. You can sand them back, reseal them, paint them. You can change the look of them. You can find secondhand timber furniture that looks great, it looks worn, it looks like it's got a bit of character about it, and you can change it. Lighting, super important. And I've got this wrong before, and I've learned my lesson. This time around, we really focused on the lights and the mood that we wanted to set, especially being a night venue. Here, I wanted it to be really dark and moody. We haven't used any ceiling lights in the place. We've put some in there for precaution, but we don't turn them on. So all the lights are up lights, so they shine up into the roof rather than shine down onto the tables and onto people. This was the challenge with this space. The kitchen's open, the kitchen needs lighting because they need to see what they're cooking. So we've used some lights in there that I actually took to a car spray painter and he sprayed half of them. So the light that shines out into the restaurant is dull and into the kitchen is a bit brighter. So this light is a piece that Alexandra found for us. It fits this square space really nicely. It works as our pass light. It's just beautiful. The ceiling acoustics is really important because that's where sound travels and it bounces off, especially when you're using the hard surfaces like we have. So we've got the terrazzo floor, concrete. So if I didn't do that, it would be super echoey in here. So you have a look up here is the acoustic recycled newspaper that we've used. Absorbs the sound, it looks good, and yeah, does its job. These guys come in like the Ghostbusters actually, and they sprayed it on the ceiling, and that is worth every cent. It wasn't cheap, but it absorbs the sound. Once they were finished, it became like a library. Acoustics are a tricky one because you want it to look good still, and there's so many ugly panels that you can put up, but you want to sit in a restaurant and be able to talk to the person next to you. I am super proud of the bar. I went out on a limb and we had a few arguments about it. Traditionally, you design a bar and it's got a front bar for storage, and it's just what everybody does because everyone's been doing it forever. So we're limited for space, and I was pulling my hair out trying to design a bar to fit into the space and also get enough seating inside. The idea of having the bar looking like a piece of furniture inside the restaurant and not having that barricade between the customers and the actual bar was super appealing to me. I've never seen it done like this before. It's designed to pump out heaps of cocktails. It looks quite small, but it's super, super practical. Ice bin in here, refrigeration, jug rinses here, beer taps and little washing areas. I wanted people to be able to come up and walk into the space and almost feel like they could grab their own drink. The kitchen layout is probably one of the most important things you need to consider when you're designing a restaurant. You need to know what you're going to be serving before you even design what you're doing. You're not going to know exactly, but to have the basis of the size of the menu, the style of the food, because you then need to go and buy the equipment to cook the food. We definitely wanted a pizza oven in here to do all our Greek flatbreads and all our baking. Also an open grill. We originally wanted charcoal. That became problematic. We found out that the ducting and the hoods that you needed to do charcoal was super expensive. So we found a volcanic rock, which was very similar to charcoal that you don't need the special ventilation for. I don't love kitchens when they're like a galley style kitchen, so you got two runs. Everyone's working back to back. And these guys in the kitchen, they work their butts off. And to work back to back in a dark space, it can get a bit depressing. So our kitchen, we've got windows that look out into the outdoor area, and we've got a communal island in the middle. So everyone's talking to each other, prepping together. So this is Sam, does many things in his kitchen. One of them is bake our bread. We've got head chef over here, Kiri, washing some greens for our horta, which is a Greek traditional dish. She's the reason why our food tastes so good. So that island unit is sort of the centerpiece of the kitchen. We've got our pizza oven just to the left, so that's where a lot of our entrees come out of. And then our mains is coming out of the back section. So it flows in a circle. The head chef will call the food at the pass, and that food is close to her, so she is past those dishes. So there's no steps in between. And the mains are coming out from the back. So once those entrees are started, it comes around the other side. This is our Proline grill. We can adjust the height up and down to suit what heat we want. And this is where basically our rods go into and creates that kotosuvli, so that rotisserie meat that we're looking for. So it's a nice tight space. These are the windows, lets a lot of nice light in. So the idea of having an open kitchen was to let people see what we're doing so they can feel like they're involved in it a bit, create ambience They can hear what we're saying, they can hear dockets being called. It creates a lot of atmosphere. We're not trying to hide anything, so we want them to see the hard work and the team effort that goes into creating their meals. I've seen kitchens downstairs, like dungeons, and they're always dark, and that just creates a bad aura in the kitchen. I think the size is a big thing. Creating kitchens that are too big can be problematic in the sense that you need to employ more people to do things. The more space you got, the more you'll fill it with stuff that you don't need. Smaller spaces get people thinking more about what they actually need and being really compact and thrifty with that. You don't want to create a space where people are lining up to pay at the end of the night. We take payment at tables. That's a big reason why we went with Zeller, to have that flexibility. We don't have a place where you can stop and greet people. We want it to be that casual feel. That was why Zeller was so nice, because we could take the terminal to each table and they could sort it out. Considering that when you're designing is important as well. Where are people going to pay? How do you see that operation working? And having a plan for that. The Zeller terminal looks great as well, so it fits in with what we're doing. It's lean, it's sleek, doesn't look too bulky. We can email the invoice to the clients. We didn't want it to look like a mess. I think it looks really good. I had a strict budget for this place. I feel like we achieved it. We did a pretty good job of nailing our budget. Spending on details like furniture, lighting, things that people see and feel is super important. You're spending a lot of money on things that you can't avoid. Good quality equipment in the back. We've got a pizza oven, custom made. We've got a big grill. So they're the non-negotiables. It has to be practical. We've kept it pretty minimal, so that really helped us with our budget. We didn't overdo it with things that you can lose yourself in. We've used super commercial tapware. It's good quality stuff, but it doesn't break the bank. Stainless is really good. It just lasts. It's easy to clean. It's super hygienic. You're getting soapy water at the end of the night and you're scrubbing down the walls. You're not going to damage anything. It scratches, but that's part of the feel that we're after anyways. We literally get our hose out and we can hose the bottom sections of all our walls. I think it looks great. Don't be scared to use secondhand equipment, especially refrigeration. Not that expensive to get fixed. They're essentially eskies with a motor. Planning is the most important thing. Planning your electrical, planning your plumbing, planning the layout of everything. You need sinks in certain places, you need dishwashers, you need ice machines. So you need to think about the drainage of those things. You need to know where all your refrigerators are going, where your ovens are going to live if they're gas. If you don't put those in the right places, to do it later can be impossible almost, or it can look ugly because you need to put these pipes on the outside of the walls, box in any electrical that you're going to do, you're going to lose space. You need to know exactly to the millimeter where all that's going to live to get the design part of it right later on. We even give them the model numbers of the equipment. When they're doing their drawings and their 3Ds, they're putting in the right piece of equipment. Don't leave it too late to get approval to start building. Don't underestimate how long that takes. Have a really clear vision on what you're doing. Know what style you are, know who you are, and what you want your business to be. Trying to use materials that are hard wearing, that will stand the test of time, because they're going to get beat up. They're hardcore places, restaurants. And also, keeping it simple is really important. Even if you don't have a good eye for design, I think keeping it simple, it's a safe bet.